Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. Did you know that there is actually a sweet spot for free time, for leisure time, for time off? I mean, if you would have asked me, how much free time do you want? I would have said all of it. I want all of the free time, right? But there was actually a study published last year, and quite a large one, that really showed that there is a sweet spot for free time and that it's not all of the time that you want. Actually, for optimal well-being, of course, if you have too little free time, that's no good. But also, if you have too much free time, that is no good either. You know what that optimal amount of time is? It's just 2 to 5 hours a day. 2 to 5 hours a day. Now, if you're looking at your life and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm so busy from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm just doing stuff, obligations all day long. I hear you, right? A lot of us feel like that. But I am willing to bet that you could find 2 hours a day. Not through super drastic measures either. So I want to share with you sort of 5 methods that you can think of or that you can use to be able to find the minimum of 2 hours a day of discretionary time for just yourself, time where you're doing things that you want to do, not that you have to do. So the first one is around reframing. So I want you to do something right now. Pause this video. Go look at the screen time stats on your phone. How much time are you spending a day on average on social media, on news, things like that? Do you have 2 hours that you could just literally pull back right now and do something that you would much rather be doing with that time? You're reading, exercising, hanging out, watching TV, whatever it is. Could you take that mindless scroll time and turn it into something else, right? So just reframing. Another way to think of reframing is write a list of all of the things that fill you up, right? The things that you like to do, things you enjoy to do, things that you wish you had more time to do. And then look at your day. Like, do you actually spend time on these things? Maybe there's some free time in there that you weren't even counting as free time, but actually it is, right? Now, the next thing that we can do is we can look at outsourcing. So outsourcing is one of the best ways that we can get more time back, right? And it doesn't always have to be super expensive or anything like that. Sometimes we can even barter with people. But think about, are there things you could be outsourcing that would gain you back a bunch of time? So for instance, like house cleaning, could you hire a cleaner to come, once a week or once every 2 weeks or even once a month to help you do that deep cleaning work so that you don't have to do all of it all of the time, right? Would that gain you time back? Or the wash and fold, right? Could you have your laundry sent out? Is that something that might be affordable that would save you a lot of time? Where are areas that you could outsource? I also think about driving, right? Because I have kids. I think about time in cars. And so one of the things that I always think about is having a carpool. I actually ended up saving 5 hours a week last year just because I instituted a carpool for one of my kids. That is a lot of time. All right. What about delegation? Are there things that are on your, maybe you can't outsource, right? But are there things that you could delegate? Now I want you to think about at home and at work. So are there things you could be delegating to your kids? If you have them, could they be doing their own laundry? Could they be cleaning the kitchen? Could they be handling the garbage bins? I would be willing to bet that if you have school-aged children, they could be doing a lot more, and this would save you time in the long run. Of course, there'll be a short-term pain when you're kind of getting them up to speed. What about, other people who live in your house, your partner, or if you have one, or roommates? Is the division of labor split in a way that feels equitable to everyone? That's something to look at as well. Now think about work. Are there things that you're doing that could be done by someone else, right? Are you really solely focused on only things that only you can do? Now, not all of us have people to delegate to at work, but if you do, I bet you could be using that person more. Or those people, and that could decrease your work hours over time, which would gain you free time back. Now, what about setting boundaries, right? I think sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And so setting boundaries around our work time might be something that can help. One thing you could do is just turn off the notifications, right? So that you are not being sucked into work emails at 10 p.m. because you have a notification going off on your phone. You can also use your tech, right? There's boundaries that you can build in. So you can set your meetings to auto decline if they come after 5 p.m., right? So if people are sending you a meeting invite for something that's after 5 p.m., you could set up your calendar to auto decline those things. So it can create a boundary for you. Now, sometimes we need a little more of a forcing function. What if you signed up for a class or something that you want to do outside of work, and you signed up for it so that it's at 5:30 or 6 p.m. on a Wednesday? That might help you create a boundary. So where can you create boundaries? And then lastly, Think about how you can break up this time. So you might be thinking, oh my gosh, 2 to 5 hours, 2 hours of time that I'm looking for. There's just no way I can get a 2 hour chunk in my day. But you know what? You don't have to. In order for you to have this optimal amount of leisure time, of free time, the studies show that it doesn't all have to be at once, right? So maybe you're getting a half an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening and a few 15 minutes here and there where you're sitting down to read a book in the middle of the day, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be all in one chunk. So you can look at your day and figure out how can I get this 2 hours, but broken up into various different parts of my day. So if you feel like you are not getting that 2 to 5 hours of leisure time a day that you need to feel optimally, in your well-being, then this is the time to look at that and take just one of those tactics I mentioned and see where you might be able to gain back some time for yourself. Now, if you like content like this, make sure to subscribe. I come out with a video every single week, about 5 minutes, so that you can have some tips to help you increase your productivity and decrease your stress.
Hello, it's the video editor here. Just want to quickly pop in and say that only 11.7% of you guys are actually subscribed, so it'd be a big deal if you subscribed.